Hey there, Huskies. Today I'm going to show you a little bit about how to get started with Project 2 and how our new project planner differs from what you might have experienced in STEM last year and potentially the year before. So the first thing you want to do is log into Otis, and I'm assuming your feed's probably going to look a little bit more uh, complicated than mine. So let's go to Lessons. And helpful reminder is you can go to the top of the screen instead of all classes. If you want to see just STEM, you go down here to period 1, STEM, and you'll see an option for project 1 and project 2, and the dates may differ depending on what quarter you're in class. We're going to click on project 2 to show us our new project planner. And there's a lot of great information here, but we're really going to be focusing on our virtual project planner 2 right down here. Now, before you get started with project 2, you're going to want to make sure that you've updated your creative arts portfolio. There's a video right here with this how to access your creative arts portfolio that'll explain how to do that. And you're also going to want to make sure that you know what project you're going to do. And check with me first. But you can check out all of the project options in our course catalog right here. So to get started with your second project planner, you'll click on the link here. It's going to ask you to open it up. We'll say, open the link. Here we go. Whoa. Let's say dismiss all that stuff. And we're in view only. So what we're going to want to do first is we're going to want to make a copy of the entire presentation. So that's under File, Make a Copy, Entire Presentation. We're going to change it so it says your name. So I'm just going to say Harold Husky Project Planner. And this is my second project, so I'm going to put Project Planner 2. If this is your first or even your third project, you change that number, obviously. We're going to let it load. Take just a moment. All right, so first thing I want to do is update this front page. I'm going to make sure to share the document with me. So now that we've got it named, let's go and share the document first. So we'll click up here, the share button, and start typing. You probably type just Bill. And the first thing you'll see up is Bill Steinbach, which is me, and notify people. Please leave that on. Leave me an editor so I can leave feedback, and then click on send. All right, now it's shared with me. Fantastic. And what we'll do now is we'll go in here and we'll update the front page. Harold Husky. I gotta spell it correctly though. My project choice, I'm gonna choose SketchUp. Now yours is gonna differ depending on what project you're doing, so don't just type SketchUp there. And then the date started would be today's date. For me, that's October 12th, 2020. For you, obviously, it'll be a different date. Okay, and I'm going to delete this gray box because I remember that I've already done that. Okay, so now we're all set. We got our project planner created, it's shared with me, and also you've updated the front page so it's easy for you to recognize which project planner this is, and it's also easy for me to recognize that as well. One thing that you notice is once you share that document with me, and you tell me what project you're going to do, the second slide is going to get updated. I'm going to insert a new slide that is unique to your actual project with helpful links and a lot of great information. So make sure to take a look at this pink slide. Once I've updated it, you'll be able to tell that it's different because it'll have the logo of your project on this page. Yeah, so just make sure to check that out. It'll have info on your username as well if it's an online tool that you need to create an account for or that I need to create an account for. So let's go to slide 3 and take a look at our project timeline. So typically in the past, our projects took 10 days and we would spend each day in class would correspond to a specific part of our project. So the first day, what we call day 1, was always the exploration phase. And then we would move on to day 2, where we were setting our goals and writing SMART goals. And then we'd have a number of days after that, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, where we were working on kind of just working towards our goals. In this class, and with our new project planner, we've kind of decided to scrap the idea of having specific days, like a day 1 and a day 2, because we're all working at different paces and we're all working on different projects. So what we're doing is we've broken the project down into 4 parts. We've got phase 1, which is exploration. Phase 2, which is goal setting. Phase 3, which is execution, which just means working towards your goal. And then phase 4, which is publication, and that's kind of how you're going to show off all of the great work you've done. Okay, so just like in the first day of our old projects, we're going to be exploring to start off. And exploring for you is going to be just exploring the tool, the resource. You might look on YouTube to see what kinds of things people have done with that particular tool, whether it's Tinkercad or SketchUp or any of the other great resources that we have available to you. And this may last you one day. It might take you a couple days. It's really up to you. Just know that for exploration, you're really just exploring. So don't really get too focused on kind of starting to create a project. For exploration, if you feel like you're done exploring, you're ready to move on, then let's do that instead of just building our project while being in this first phase. So in between each of the phases of our project, you're going to be conferencing with me. And that means that we're going to have a phone conference or a voice conference that may last anywhere from 30 seconds to a couple minutes. You never know. But just know that in between each phase, before you move on, you will need to have a conversation with me. And not just through chat, but through actual voice. Maybe it'll be with video, maybe not. Maybe it'll be in person. Who knows? Um, so let me show you what you're going to do in your project planner for that first phase for exploration. So for exploration, there's one slide to fill out, and it asks you to respond to a prompt, which is right here. It says, tell me which project you are choosing to work on and why you chose it. Now make sure you respond to that actual prompt right there and not just tell me what you did during the day. Each of these prompts is set up to help you kind of reflect on your learning and your project journey. And also they're set up so that if you happen to forget to do a reflection on a particular day, you can always go back and catch up later on. So please make sure to follow along with that actual reflection. So you'll write a couple sentences here telling me about your project, and you're going to put two screenshots here. One screenshot here and one screenshot here, just showing off some of the things you've done. Now, if you've been in my class before, you know Google Images, not okay. I want to actually get screenshots of what you're doing. Because I'm not in the room with you, I want to be able to see. And even if we are in the same room, I still don't always have the chance to see exactly what you're doing. So please take a couple screenshots of your work. It's really up to you what screenshots you take. The more interesting, the better. And I've got a little tip here for how to take screenshots on your Chromebook and a video tutorial if you're somebody who doesn't quite remember how to do it or needs some other way of learning that. So once you've filled out all of these parts and you're done exploring, that's when you're going to be conferencing with me. So you're going to let me know through chat and Zoom or whatever platform you're using that you want to have a conference and you're ready to move on. The next step in our phases is goal setting. And for those of you that were in STEM before, this slide is going to look very familiar, a SMART goal. You're going to check in with me ahead of time to see whether or not I want you to write a SMART goal or just tell me a little bit about what your plan is. Depending on your grade level and what we've previously done in class, I might have you write an official SMART goal following the information here, and I may not. So check in with me before you start writing this, but this will be your phase 2. And if you kind of remember, day 2 was kind of a goal setting anyway, so it kind of makes sense that this second phase would be goal setting. When you're done with that, you again are going to reach out to me through chat so that we can have a conference. And at that point, once your goal has been approved, you're going to be moving on to that execution phase. And the execution phase is really the best part of the project. This is when you really get to sit down and just work towards that goal and do the best you can to kind of create something unique. As part of the reflections for this unit and this phase, which could last anywhere from 2 days to who knows, maybe a couple of weeks even. There are going to be 4 slides you'll fill out that you could fill out at any point. Probably not at the very beginning of the phase, but you could do them spread out over the course of like a little bit each day, or you could wait till the very end. It's really up to you. But there are going to be 4 reflections and 4 prompts that you're going to respond to. One of them says, what has been your favorite part of the project? Another one is, what advice would you give to someone starting out? Give an example of something that went wrong while you're working on the project, and then looking back on your project, what would you have done differently? So if you think about those 4 questions I'm asking you, they're not tied to a particular day. I'm not asking what you did each day. These are going to really help you just kind of reflect on what went well, what didn't go well, and kind of if you could go back and do it again, what would you do differently? So that's one of the reasons why I came up with these prompts, is so that you could respond to them at any point during the project. Then also we're going to get 4 screenshots. And something that's unique about these slides from previous years is that there's 2 pictures on a page. That's one thing. But the big thing is that there's also a brief description of the image that I'd like you to fill in, just telling me a little bit about what I'm looking at. And you're going to take 2 screenshots here and then 2 more screenshots here. So a total of 4. So 4 responses, 1 in each of the blue boxes, and then 4 images or screenshots of your work. And again, just a reminder, Google Images, not okay. Screenshots of your work, so that I can see the great things that you yourself are doing. And once you have spent time working on your project and you're kind of like ready to go, and you kind of have made that incredible looking final product, we're going to conference again. And then you're going to move on to the publication phase. And this is kind of going to be, as of right now, in 2 parts. You're going to have a presentation slide that you'll put together. And my hope is that we'll be able to use these slides at some point during the quarter to show off your project to other people in class. And then also your creative arts portfolio, which is something that you should have been doing for every class in creative arts for every project over the 3 years in STEM. And I've included 2 slides afterwards, just so you can get some more tips and hints. But don't feel like you have to stick to a particular format for these things. The creative arts portfolio, you will fill this out. The easiest thing to do is just fill it out right here in your project planner and then copy and paste this slide into your creative arts portfolio. And as a reminder, if you aren't quite sure how to do your creative arts portfolio, I have a video right here within Project 2 that you can watch and kind of fill out. And that'll wrap up your project, the next project that you're working on. And this can take anywhere from 2 weeks to maybe a month. It's really up to you. And you'll notice that we have strategically placed conferences in between each phase of your project. And that doesn't mean that we're not going to chat in between, but this just gives me a chance to kind of help guide you and offer assistance along the way. And it's just a great way to check in and see all of your great work. So if you have any questions, please let me know through chat, but hopefully this will be enough to get you started. And if you have gotten the okay from me to begin phase 1, then you can start doing your exploration right now. And don't forget to take a look at that pink slide to learn all about the resources that I've curated for you. If you have any questions, just let me know through chat. Thanks.